So tonight's True Crime Rewind is every celebrity's worst fear come true. On July 18th, 1989, 36 years ago today, Rebecca Schaeffer was gunned down by a stalker on her own doorstep in West Hollywood. Now, if you were old enough to watch TV back then, you'll remember that Schaeffer, as the 21-year-old co-star of the sitcom My Sister Sam. Now, what few people knew at the time was that Schaeffer had been tormented for 3 long years by a fan named Robert John Bardo. Twice Bardo visited the studio where Schaeffer filmed her show, and twice security sent him away. So then he paid a private investigator $250 to find Schaeffer's home address, which the PI obtained with a phone call to the DMV using only the actor's name. Bardo then acquired a handgun with the help of his brother and traveled from his home in Tucson, Arizona to Schaeffer's apartment in West Hollywood. He dropped by twice that day. The first time he showed his idol an autograph she'd sent him in response to a fan letter, and after a short conversation, she sent him away and asked him that he should not come back. But after breakfast at a nearby diner, Bardo rang Schaeffer's doorbell yet again. And this time, when she answered the door, he pulled out his gun and shot her point blank in the chest. She died soon after at a hospital. Now, Bardo was arrested back in Tucson. The very next day they got him, he was wandering through traffic, police said. He confessed to killing Schaeffer, but at his trial in 1991, his lawyers claimed that he was mentally ill. And the prosecutor, though, did not buy it. Get this. Her name was Marcia Clark. And this was very likely the biggest case of her career, to be eclipsed, of course, 4 years later when she prosecuted O.J. Simpson. Clark argued that Robert Bardo's behavior did not point to mental illness.
Well, I don't take issue with the stance that this defendant was not a normal 13-year-old, nor with the notion that he was not a normal 19-year-old. A normal person doesn't stalk and murder a celebrity he's never met. Well, if that's so, Your Honor, as a practical matter, then where is the evidence of delusion? That the defendant deluded himself into believing that maybe someday Rebecca might be his friend? Well, then haven't we all been guilty of being delusional at some point in our lives? Have we not all held some unrealistic hope or dream? This just shows that the defendant had high hopes, albeit perhaps unrealistic. I'm not even sure that I can say that. Because if all he dreamed or hoped of was that she would write back to him someday, is that so unrealistic? She did once. So we might conclude that the defendant was a dreamer. But as the doctor admitted, he testified in the Hinckley case. Having hopes and dreams does not mean one has a serious mental disorder.
So fascinating. Bardo claimed that a U2 song called Exit inspired him to kill, and at his trial, his lawyer played that song in the courtroom. And here is what Bardo did. Oh my gosh, this is so creepy. It was also revealed that when Bardo pulled the trigger, he was carrying a copy of The Catcher in the Rye, the same novel associated with the gunman who shot John Lennon and Ronald Reagan earlier that decade. Now, Robert John Bardo was convicted of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. And even before that, California passed the nation's first anti-stalking laws in 1990, also in 1994, as a direct result of Rebecca Schaeffer's murder. Congress passed what they called the Driver's Privacy Protection Act, which bars state DMVs from giving out any personal information, which you remember, that's how he was actually able to figure out her address. So man, what an awful case, and so interesting to see that old video.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.